One. Okay, today we're going to be learning Adobe InDesign. Now, I'm using Adobe InDesign CS5 because I'm cool. Because you guys aren't as cool as I am, you have Adobe CS3, but I'm going to be teaching you in such a way that I'm only going to teach the tools that are similar, all right? So if there's anything that looks a little bit different, just work with your neighbor to get it figured out, but I think it should be okay. So let's get this party started. First of all, I saved a copy of the terms that we just went over. I saved a copy of that in your public drive on your computer. Okay, so you're going to be able to recognize a lot of these, and by the time we're done next week, then you'll know what all of these terms are. Okay, these terms are going to make up the test. I wouldn't be surprised if I just blank out the answers and just put this up on the server so you guys can take the test that way. All right. So just make sure that you understand what they are. You guys know what a byline is? Okay. The name of the writer printed at the top of the story. Okay. So we went over that just a few seconds ago. All right. So let's start in InDesign. Let me close out of this publication. We're going to set the settings. So you can't have any documents open while you change the settings. By the time we're done, by the end of the day today, then you guys are going to start working on this dummy. You guys made a pen and paper dummy, a pencil and paper dummy. Now we're going to do it in InDesign. So everybody has their dummies next to them. Don't look at anybody when you say that. Does everybody have their dummies next to them on their computer? Because you're going to use that then to create your InDesign document. But I'm going to close this for right now. And let's go to Edit Preferences up to General, or you can do Control K. Edit Preferences General or Control K. Again, my screen might look a little bit different than yours because I'm just a touch cooler, but I think I'll be able to point out the important parts on each one. So the first one is the general section here. We all right there? Yeah? All right, let's go down to the next section, and that's interface. If there anything that, any of these sections that you have on yours, just change it to mine. So if you have a tooltips section, change it to fast. If you don't have tooltips, don't even worry about it. That's right here. All of the tabs are located here on the left-hand side. So right now I'm on interface. Everybody good? Okay, let's go to type. I think the only thing I changed here is font preview size. Make it small or medium, whichever you want. Make sure that this is checked. Add pages to end of story. Smart text reflow. Okay, don't worry about it then. All right, we're good. Next, advanced type. Here are the settings for advanced type. Any changes in there? Nope. Okay, next one, composition. Do you guys have this one? Highlight substituted fonts. Okay. Do you have text wrap section? Okay. Okay, next one, units and increments. This is very important. This is the most important one. We want our origin to be spread. Remember we talked about that before? That's the number of pages you look at. You want your horizontal and you want your vertical to both be inches. When you guys go into college and take a graphic design course, come back and tell me what picas are, and I'll be impressed. Text size, we want that to be points. Same with strokes. Those should both be points. We good? Good now? Okay, next one, grids. Here we go with grids. Um, oh, for where it says start, don't touch that. What's the default for yours? Yeah. Yeah, don't touch that. Do you guys have horizontal and vertical document grids? Okay, cool. Hmm? Yeah. Grids every 1 inch. Subdivisions 8. Do you guys have this? Check that box. Grids in back. If it changes back, just leave it alone then. Don't touch it. Okay, next, guides and pasteboard. I don't think you guys have anything to change in here. Okay, next section, dictionary. I don't think there's anything to change in there. Next one is spelling. Here's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we put the misspelled words in red. Oh, check enable dynamic spelling. That way, if you type a misspelled word, it'll underline it in red, just like Microsoft Word does. Okay, we good? All right, next one is autocorrect. Make sure enable autocorrect is checked. And let's check autocorrect capitalization errors as well. And that'll help you autocorrect some of these commonly misspelled words. Good there? All right, next is notes. I don't think we need anything in there. Track changes. I think we're all good there. Okay, story editor display, go to that one. Here's what you need to change in story editor. Change your font to Times New Roman. Instead of using this pull down here, just highlight the text that's in there and start typing Times, Times, and it's automatically going to jump. If you don't have Times New Roman, just use regular Times, either Times or Times New Roman, and change your default font size to 11 points. Everything else should be cool in there. We good? Good? Okay. Next one is display performance. I think we're good in there. Oh, Greek type below. type 5. You don't even have to type the PT. Just type 5. Next is appearance of black. I think that's good. File handling. I think that's good. Clipboard handling. Do you guys have that one? If there's a button that says prefer PDF when pasting, choose that. And click OK. Now, these settings that we just set only apply to your computer. So if you switch to a new computer, raise your hand and I'll come around and check your settings. All right, let's get started. What you're looking at is InDesign's layout that's very, very similar to Illustrator. All your key commands from Illustrator and PowerPoint should work on InDesign. Maybe a few different ones, I'll let you know. So what's the key command to start a new document? Control N. Let's do that. Take a look up at the board. Yours doesn't look like mine, so let's walk through and make some changes. Your document preset, use your pull down and go to custom. Okay. Now let's change these. Your number of pages, we want 1. And check this box here, facing pages. Your page size should be letter. And your orientation should be portrait. Next, we want 3-column layout. That's what we did on the board, right? That's what you guys did on the dummies? 3-column layout. Leave the gutter alone. But you might need to change the margin, change that to 0.25. You can use the down arrow and it'll change all 4 of them at the same time. Or I think if you type in the box, it'll change all 4 of them at the same time anyway. If you ever wanted to change your margins to something else, you can always uncheck this little link box and you can type it in all 4 of them separately if you want to. All right, click on Save Preset. And type in there newsletter. And click OK. So this is a good way that you can save a whole bunch of presets if you're doing a whole bunch of different publications. So with the second years, we did business cards, we did letterhead, and we did envelopes. So they would save a preset for each of those in case they wanted to go back and make new ones. All right, click OK. And you should have a document that looks like this. Everybody good? All right. First things first, let's save it. You need to save it in your iDrive. So if you go to File, Save As, click on Computer, double-click on your iDrive, and inside of your iDrive, double-click on the folder with your name. And now let's make a new folder, call it InDesign. And you can either right-click, or you can click on this little icon up here, take a look up at the board. That will allow you to make a new folder right there inside of your iDrive. That little folder, create new folder button. And for the file name, let's call it Dummy. For all you Fred Sanford fans. And click Save. Now that you saved your document, we want to set up our workspace in InDesign. We're going to have it do it automatically for us. Click on the Window tab up top, go to Workspace, and I think yours is called like Basic or Normal. Window, Workspace, what is it called? Basic? Yeah, click on Basic. Mine's called Essentials. So if your windows aren't how you want them or there's something out of whack, always go back to Window, Workspace, Basic. And Photoshop and Illustrator do the exact same thing too. Now, the tabs that we're going to be using a lot are Pages. Click on Pages. And if you bring it out and it looks like mine up here up on the board, if you click in the bottom right-hand corner of that window, drag your pages down so that you can see multiple pages. That's a quick way that you can kind of jump around in your document. You'll also see layers over there as well. So just like Photoshop and Illustrator, you got layers. These work similar to Illustrator's layers though. Go to Window, Layers if you don't see it. But primarily we're going to be using the Pages tab over here. When you went to Workspace, Normal, see if there's a double arrow you can click. Show all items. All right. Or F7. Okay. Now for the toolbar, you got your black arrow and you got your white arrow just like Illustrator. Your black arrow will allow you to select a whole object. Your white arrow will allow you to select a part of that object or something inside of something else. Okay. We're going to use those two. We're also going to be using the type tool, and that works just like Illustrator. We're going to be using the line tool, the pen tool, the rectangular frame tool, and the rectangle tool. So just like any other, just like Illustrator, just like Photoshop, you can make shapes, but the one that's new then is the frame tool. Click on that one. That's the picture frame. Click and drag out in your document. That's the picture frame like we made on our pencil and paper dummy. You'll notice when you make a frame, a rectangular frame, then that it has that X through it. And that's just the universal symbol of a picture, but there's nothing in that picture. You can resize it by using those handlebars and stuff like that again. Excuse me. Make sure you go back and click on the black arrow, but you can resize it, stretch it, just like any other object. Now click on the type tool and click and drag out a text box on your page. And just like the picture boxes, the text boxes can be resized however way you want to as well. So remember when we did our captions? That's what they will look like right there. Now I hear some people typing blah, 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 blah. I got something better for you. Hold on 1 second. I just want to run down a few more of these tools that we're going to be using. Free transform tool. What was that? Photoshop or Illustrator where we have free transform? That was Illustrator, right? Gradient swatch tool. That's pretty cool. Fill and stroke are back. Remember them? They left us in Photoshop, didn't they? Now they're back. Fill and stroke. And the very last button on the toolbar is your view. Click and hold that down. We're going to use that a lot as well. So by default, you're on normal view, but if you click and hold, you can go to preview. And that hides all of your guides and margins and gutters and all that stuff. It's best to design with your in normal view, and then when you want to see what it looks like when you print it out, just click and hold and go down to preview. Preview is like your print view. So click and hold and go to normal. What other windows we're going to use? We're going to use stroke, and we're going to use swatches. And those are very similar to Illustrator and Photoshop as well. Okay? All right, ready to get to getting? Oh, here's very important. Sorry, I forgot. Whenever you click on any of these tools, especially like the type tool, the frame tools, text boxes and stuff, you'll notice that all of your options pop up here now. Okay, so that's very important. All of your options for each of those tools are across the whole span of the program. So if you want to like change fonts, change colors, change your stroke size, just look in that bar up at the top, that options bar. Okay, everybody cool? The gravy? If you need extra help, once I run through it, I'll come around and I'll help you individually. All right, next, we want to cover pages. So take a look up at the screen. To put a new page in your document, in your publication, all you have to do, see here where it says none? This single page rectangle here? Click and drag one of those into a gray area down here. And when you click and drag, it puts a 2-page spread automatically on the page for you. Everybody following me? Click and drag the single page down into the gray area underneath page 1, and it puts a 2-page spread there for you automatically. You'll notice when we started InDesign, when we made our first document, it was just a 1-page spread, and that's the first page in our publication. Now here, page 2 and page 3 are side by side. But here's the problem. Let's say you want page 4. If you click here and you drag out another one, it's not going to make page just 4. It's going to do 4 and 5. You see that? So instead, all you got to do is click on the Create New Page button down here. Everybody see where I'm at? Oh, that's the master. Don't mess with that yet. That's the master. Don't mess with that yet. Click on the Create New Page button right here, and it automatically puts page 4 in there for you. Now, what do you notice about page 1 and page 4? Take a look at how they laid them out. They're opposites, right? So just like when we made our dummy, page 1 and page 4 were on opposite sides of the paper. That's exactly what this is showing you, and that process is called pagination. Remember that word? Pagination. So yeah, don't double click up here, because those are the dummy, or excuse me, just like the slide master in PowerPoint, that's the slide master right there. Very, very similar. So again, drag out, click here, drag out, and it'll put page 2 and 3. If it doesn't, then we got to change some settings. I got to come around to your computer. To get page 4, click on the Create New Page button right there. All right, everybody good? What's the key command to save? Control S. Let's go ahead and save. Now, remember Control 0 in Photoshop and Illustrator? What does that do? There you go. Full document. Okay? Those key commands still work. Control plus, Control minus. That'll show you your whole publication. Control 0 will bring you into one full page. You can also hold down Alt on your keyboard and scroll with your mouse. If you're clicked on the black arrow, you can hold down the space bar like in Illustrator or Photoshop and move around in your publication that way. If you're clicked on the black arrow, you can move around holding down the space bar. Zoom in, Control 0 to full page. Down at the bottom of your document window, take a look up at the board down here. You'll see it's telling me what page I'm on. There's a little down arrow where you can jump to whatever page you want. So if you want to jump to 4, you can do it that way. And there's previous page buttons down there as well. But I just use the Pages tab and just double click on what page I want to go to, personally. Okay, so that's how you navigate around inside of InDesign. Pretty straightforward. Okay, what I want you to start doing now is to start using your picture boxes and your text boxes along with your color swatches, and you can use whatever colors you want to. Put in different color boxes that indicate pictures and indicate captions and indicate text. Okay? So take a look at how I'm doing it on the board. Yellow is going to indicate my pictures. Blue is going to indicate my captions. And I'm going to choose, what is this, magenta to indicate my text. And now use your dummy that you just made. Yeah, as long as you know what it looks like. Use your dummy that you just made and place your pictures and your captions on each page. Use the line tool. And don't forget, you can hold down Shift, use the line tool, draw the line, and that's going to symbolize where your masthead is going to stop. And don't forget, all of your key commands and tricks, like holding down Alt to duplicate boxes, all of those still work. That's what I like about InDesign. It uses a lot of the same stuff from Illustrator. So we got the headline. What else? The subhead. What else? The byline. Okay, here's how you put text into a text box. It doesn't have to be a colored box. We just use color boxes to kind of show where our text is going to go. But when you click on the type tool and you click and drag, it makes a clear box, right? When that cursor pops up, right click and go to fill with placeholder text. Fill with placeholder text. And that's just an ancient Latin language that only sophisticated graphic designers know. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All it is fake writing so you'll see what the text looks like. So don't use the color boxes anymore. But look, take a look up at the board. Instead of deleting all of your text boxes, if you go to your swatches, you can just click none and it'll turn your boxes back clear. And now click on your type tool and you can right click and go to fill with placeholder text. Okay. So what I want you to do now, I want you to finish I want you to finish the dummy in InDesign. What I want you to do now is I want you to finish your dummy in InDesign. Don't forget to save your work. And then we're going to clean these up a little bit more tomorrow. You're going to turn these in tomorrow. Place your paper dummies in the PM basket, and you'll get points for those today. Yeah, that needs to go in there as well. Oh, you can just type that in a regular text box.